The last couple of weeks, I've done videos on water coils and piping, so let's stay on the hydronic topics and talk about primary, secondary, and condenser water loops in HVAC systems. So let's get started. In last week's video about direct and reverse return, I used this example of water piped to fan coils, but they could have been air handlers or chill beams. And then a while back, I talked about DX versus chilled water systems, and I showed this image. Since we're talking about chilled water today, let's erase the DX part of this system just to make it easier to look at. I want to pull these two videos together. So these fan coils or air handlers in last week's video represent this part of the image in this chilled water system. They handle the load of the space. So we can simplify this into just a couple components, and we'll call this part the chiller, and we'll just call this part the building cooling coils. So let's move this over and draw this out. So we would have a chiller, and there'd be a pump circulating water for the chiller. And then there's a pump over here circulating water to, we'll call them air handlers. And all of this comes back to the chiller, and then there's a bypass here as well because the building load requirement may not match the pump circulating water through the chiller. And we'll go into those details in a later video. And then let's put in the direction of water. So the cold water is coming in, and then you have warmer water coming out. And then let's close this loop off. This gives you two loops. This is the primary loop, and this is the secondary loop. And let's label this the primary pump and this the secondary pump. Move this up and make a little bit of room. The primary water loop circulates water for the chiller. The secondary water loop distributes this chilled water to the building's cooling coils based on the demands of the building. And if this is a water-cooled chiller, we would also have a cooling tower. So let's put this over here. And now let's draw in this water loop. There would be a pump to circulate this water back to the chiller, and then it comes back and goes into the cooling tower. You'd have the warmer water coming out of the condenser going to the cooling tower, and then cooler water going back into the chiller. So this would be the condenser loop. The purpose of the condenser water loop is to remove heat from the chiller. So now you can see you have a condenser water loop, a primary water loop, and a secondary water loop. Pull all of this back on screen. So those are the water loops in chilled water systems. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, just leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.